Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Thundershot, and welcome back. In case you guys don't know, last month I covered my Royal Rumble reactions, kind of like my recap. It's good to know that I have a lot of wrestling fans out there. I meant to have this video up and going yesterday. I meant to have this video up before Monday Night Raw went on, but with the release of Xenoverse and all the craziness and everything going on, I got streams, I had videos to get done, so I couldn't get to it. But anyways, now we are doing this. This is also something to kind of say, hey, yes, Xenoverse is going to be a very, very dominant thing on my channel, but I still do other stuff. I'm going to get back, once Xenoverse dies down a bit, we're going to get back to doing playthroughs and things like that of not Xenoverse, obviously. And I still like wrestling, and it's good to know that I have a wrestling community out here who's interested in what I have to say. There's a lot of people who tweeted me, messaged me, hey, Thundershot, are you still going to do the recap of Fastlane when it's over like you did last month? I really like that. A lot of people didn't agree with what I had to say, but that's why they're opinions. You cannot agree with that. That's totally cool. So if you ever feel like you agree with me or disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below, and by all means, to each their own. Anyways, no, Fastlane, I'm going to go through Fastlane, and since Raw has aired, I have to watch the crappy version of Raw, the 90-minute Hulu Plus version, where they compress it and they take out certain matches and things like that, things that they deem insignificant, I guess. So if I'm ever missing anything, let me know. But yeah, I have to watch the crappy 90-minute version of Raw, but I'm going to recap what happened in Fastlane, my thoughts, and then also if the story continued on into Raw the next day. I'll talk about that a little bit too. So let's dive into this. First match of the night, we had The Authority versus Ryback, Dolph Ziggler, and Eric Rowan. The Authority, of course, being Seth Rollins, Big Show, and Kane, along with the little douchers J&J Security on the outside of the match. I'm getting a little tired of seeing Ziggler, Rowan, and Ryback paired up, not because I think they're a bad team or anything, but because particularly, like, Rowan's still kind of new. Rowan definitely has potential, but Rowan's still kind of new. Ziggler and a little bit of Ryback could be doing so much more in singles stuff, so it sucks to see them paired up. I kind of wanted to see a Ziggler-Rollins mania, but that's not how it's looking like it's going to be. I feel like Ziggler and Rollins could have some really good matches that they let them go through for a feud. But no, as far as the match goes, it wasn't that big a deal. I'm not going to lie, it's been a couple days since I've seen it, but I mean, you know, it's about as standard as it gets. They go on their little rampage, whatever. At the end of the match, it was a good match. It was worth the watch and all that stuff. But at the end of the match, of course, the Authority ended up cheating because that's how it all goes. J&J Security gets involved, whatnot, all that stuff goes down, and the Authority wins. Well, then what happens after that? And I don't 100% agree with this either. Seth Rollins curb stomps Dolph Ziggler. Seth Rollins curb stomps Eric Rowan. Seth Rollins lines up Ryback for the curb stomp, and then all of a sudden we hear Randy Orton's music. Randy Orton comes running out to save the day. He drops RKOs on Kane, J&J Security, both of them, and then Seth Rollins runs his ass all the way out of the arena to the parking lot out of pure fear of Randy Orton. Now, the only reason I don't agree with this is because they let Rollins curb stomp Ziggler and Rowan. So Randy came out to save Ryback? Randy's out there to get his revenge. Randy's out to get his revenge because Rollins, in case you guys don't know, curb stomped Randy Orton onto the announcer's table and then onto the stairs, the steel steps, 4 months ago, and that took him out. That supposedly gave him an injury, and then he was out for 4 months. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. So Randy's out there for revenge, but the idea that he came out there to save Ryback, whatever. It would have worked a little bit better for me if maybe they had lined up to do, like, let's just say they grab Ziggler or whoever. It could be Rowan. It doesn't really matter. But they grab somebody and they line up Rollins to do, like, a curb stomp off the top rope. So that's, like, it's a big deal. They're going to destroy him. Or maybe they throw the stairs in the ring. That would have been too much of an homage. Like, that would have hinted at Randy Orton too much. But let's just say they throw the stairs or a chair in the ring or something. They're going to curb stomp somebody on the chair, because letting two guys get curb stomped and coming out, whatever. Anyway, bottom line, Randy Orton is back. Now, this actually carries over onto Monday Night Raw, as we see, because Randy Orton opens the show. Randy Orton opens Monday Night Raw. He comes out. He talks a little bit about how he's here to get his revenge, how he's not cool with the Authority and everything that they've done, and he's going to come back. And Randy Orton means it, damn it. He's going to take his revenge specifically on Seth Rollins. Fuck that guy. He doesn't quite say that. I'm paraphrasing. But he comes out there, and damn is he convinced. And then the Authority comes out, and they're like, Randy, we should be friends. We shouldn't fight. And Randy Orton goes, okay. That's just, he's, okay, fine. Let's be friends. And then they go to the back, and they have a meeting, and Randy Orton says, yeah, sure, I'll rejoin the Authority. I guess curb stomping my head into the steel steps and taking me out for 4 months isn't actually that big a deal. We'll just be friends again. That's fine. It works. The Authority. Whatever. YOLO. So Randy's back on the Authority. They have a match later on, but I'll get to that because that actually ties in with the next story. So let's move on to the next match. I'm sorry that I took so long in that first one. Stardust versus Goldust. And that match was I always like Goldust matches, and I like seeing what Cody Rhodes can do with Stardust, or he doesn't like to be called Cody Rhodes anymore. I like to see what Cody Rhodes can do with Stardust. I feel like his freakiness is still a little awkward, because you remember Goldust from the 90s? Goldust had it. Goldust knew who the fuck he was. Nobody else knew who the fuck he was, but you knew Goldust did. He had the wig on, and he would, like, his arms and spin on people, he'd kick him in the balls for a finisher. Goldust knew who the fuck he was. Stardust is still kind of creepy, and he hisses, and I get where he's coming from, but it still just seems awkward. Maybe I'm just forgetting that Goldust was awkward because it's been so long back when he did that thing. But yeah, Stardust is still coming off. I feel like he's still trying to find exactly Stardust and get that character. I feel like he can do it, but he's not quite there yet. But they go out there, and they have a pretty boring match, which I was expecting a little bit more with the whole brother versus brother build-up and whatnot. Goldust gets a couple good moves in. Stardust, other than that, it's just Stardust tooling up on Goldust. Stardust is tooling up on Goldust. There was an interview before the match, not an interview, but an exchange between Goldust and his father, Dusty. Their father, Dusty, I should say, where Goldust said, I'm going to go out there, and he said, I'm not going to hurt him, because they made that a special point. He said, but Goldust said, I am going to beat him until I get my brother back, which makes you think that Goldust is going to try to get the upper hand and beat the tar out of Cody Rhodes, beat the tar to Stardust until, like, there's a huge upper hand. Bottom line, we thought Goldust was going to waylay on Stardust one way or another. That was his goal, at least. So what happens is Stardust goes out there and he beats up on Goldust for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes it feels like. And then he hits a, by the way, there's spoilers in this in case you were curious. But then he goes for the crossroads. He pulls up, he's going to go for the crossroads. All of a sudden, Goldust out of nowhere pushes him off, rolls him up. 1, 2, 3. It was a botched 3 count, though. The referee goes 1, 2. His hand never actually went down for 3. Like, it went down, it almost went to the mat. Then he stopped it for a split second. And then after that split second, Cody Rhodes kicks out. And then the referee rings the bell anyway. So it looked really weird. I don't know if the ending was actually supposed to be there or not, if the ref screwed something up, if Cody stayed down longer than he should have, if Goldust was supposed to get up and then start beating up Stardust a lot. I'm not sure. I don't know what was supposed to happen there. But it was a boring match, and the ending was weird, and of course nothing is resolved when Goldust gets the tar beat out of him and then rolls up Stardust at the end and barely wins kind of thing. I mean, nothing really gets resolved there, so I'm sure that isn't the end of this, and I'm really hoping these guys go again at it at Mania. And they actually have a good match. They have the match that we know that they can have, because there is definitely a lot of potential here, and I hope that they have that. As far as Raw goes, 90-minute Hulu Plus version, I never saw any peep of Goldust or Stardust, so if that was cut out of the main show, feel free to fill me in, but I did not see it, and I'm sorry. I don't have television at all, and the only reason I would have television is for football during football season and for WWE, and that's just not worth my money. That's not worth what the cable companies want me to pay. So that's where I'm coming from on that. Thundershot, get cable, watch WWE. I'm sorry, that's my situation. Hulu Plus is $9.99, and I watch more shows on there than I should. I'm not sponsored by Hulu. Anyways, the next match, the Usos versus Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. Now, one thing that I get from watching the 90-minute of Raw every week is that I miss a lot of tag matches. I do like the Usos. I love what they're doing. I think the Usos deserve to be tag team champions. I have seen Tyson Kidd and Cesaro come out in a few different scenarios, and I'm not a huge fan. Number one, I'm just not a big Tyson Kidd fan. He has potential, but I think there's a reason he's been bouncing back and forth between WWE and NXT for so long. And it's just because they're really not sure if he can do it. Like, I think they found out he can't do it on his own, and that's why they brought him up here and they tagged him. They tagged him with Cesaro though, and Cesaro's never been my favorite guy, but a lot of people really like him and he has a lot of potential. So to keep putting him in these tag teams when we know he can flourish, he can be an Intercontinental guy. Hell, he should go out there and like have some kind of foreign bastard showdown with Rusev for. And if you're foreign, I'm not saying you're a bastard, but when Cesaro was doing that whole Sweden's better than America thing, and now Rusev's in there, Russia's better than America, this is a war and it matters, blah, blah, blah. Foreign bastard contest for the U.S. title. I think that would be cool. Maybe let Cesaro think America's awesome anyway or something, but Cesaro could be doing more, bottom line, than tagging with Tyson Kidd is what I'm getting at. But no, they had a pretty alright match. Everyone got their stuff in. It looked really good. And then at the end, I was actually super, super surprised. Cesaro and Tyson Kidd ended up winning, and that was kind of out of left field for me. I didn't think they were ready. I don't like maybe it's just me not liking Tyson Kidd that much, but I didn't think they were ready. I don't like Tyson Kidd that much. But no, they get it off. I still love the Usos to death. What I'm hoping happens is in the future, the Usos get their title back, and I kind of want to see something between Cesaro and Kidd and like Ascension. I want to see them go at it, and then let them battle it out, and the winner of that, whoever comes out victorious on that one, can go take on the Usos. The only thing shitty about this whole situation is that the tag division sucks balls right now. We had Miz and Mizdow, but they're in the process of breaking up, I'm guessing, judging how the last couple weeks have gone. They're in the process of breaking up. It's clearly not going to work out. We had Stardust and Goldust. They're clearly in the process of breaking up. They're not a tag division anymore. Ascension's come up. They're brand new. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro are brand new. And outside of that, New Day? Fucking New Day? I kind of forgot about them. They never showed them on Raw. Not the 90-minute version. I'm going to keep bringing that up. But yeah, so the tag division could be a lot better than it is. And the Usos are a team that deserves a good tag division. They deserve to have other people out there with them. You know what I mean? I feel like you could throw the Usos in. I feel like the Usos would be a good mix, but you could have had them in. Maybe they're not quite as hardcore as they would need to be for the 90s, but we don't know because we're in the PG era. You could put them in like against the fucking Dudleys, though. You could put them in against Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. I feel like they could produce good matches that way, and they need better tag teams around them, and that's just part of the tag team division being in the shitter right now in the WWE, and it sucks, and that's just the way it is. A follow-up to that, though, Monday Night on Raw, they had their rematch. They immediately invoked their rematch clause. Some stuff happened on the outside of the ring, started going down between Naomi and Natalya. Tyson Kidd went for a roll-up pin on one of the Usos, and he actually had his feet at the very top rope. Usually when you see a roll-up and they cheat, they put their foot on the bottom rope, maybe the middle rope. Tyson Kidd did a roll-up, had his feet on the fucking top rope. Naomi jumps up there, sees him cheating, throws his feet off. Then Natalya shows up. She pulls Naomi down. She smacks Naomi to the ground. Uso goes up for a flying Uso splash to win the match. He hits this. He wins the match. And then Natalya runs up and pulls Uso off. One of the Usos. I can't tell them apart. The Uso racks himself, and then the referee calls the match because he clearly saw Natalya pull him. And therefore, the Usos won the match. Don't get the titles back. Hopefully, we'll see another matchup. Maybe they'll win them back at Mania. Maybe they'll win them back before. I don't know what they're going to do with that exactly. Do I think Cesaro deserves a WrestleMania match? Sure. Do I think Tyson Kidd deserves a WrestleMania match? Not exactly. He just came out of NXT, but whatever. And we'll keep moving on. I'm sorry. These are long videos. I do break down this. Anyways, moving on. Sting and Triple H had their confrontation, and it was pretty cool. I liked it. Sting did not utter a single word. He came out, and he listened to Triple H gab about stuff we've heard before. He was the face of WCW. Now he's coming to WWE to take revenge on Triple H for shutting down WCW because that was his creation, or that was his thing that he held on to. But now he's mad at Triple H, and he's coming back, and he's here to ruin Triple H's business and all this stuff. And what happens is Triple H cheap shot Sting. They roll around a little bit. Triple H gets the upper hand on Sting. He beats him into the corner. Sting's laying on the ground. He's at about the middle of the ring, but on the edge, if that makes any sense. Is that like between the turnbuckles, essentially? He's between the two turnbuckles, or two of the four turnbuckles, but he's on the edge, so just keep that in mind. He's, yeah, near the ramp, essentially, still in the ring. Triple H goes outside to his classic end of the ring on next to the announcers' tables. He reaches underneath. He pulls out the sledgehammer. Triple H has got the sledgehammer. He's going to squash the Scorpion right here and now. Smash it violently, I guess, with a sledgehammer is what you would do with that. But yeah, he rolls into the ring. He goes to pick Sting up to hit him with a sledgehammer. Sting turns around. Sting had pulled a bat out from underneath the ring. Sting's bat is back. He puts it under Triple H's throat, walks him into the corner. Triple H drops the sledgehammer. Sting points at WrestleMania. Sting points at WrestleMania, and then he points back at Triple H. And then there it is. They're going to have a match at WrestleMania. Triple H tried to cheap shot Sting after that. Sting hit him in the gut with a bat and then hit him with the Scorpion Death Drop, and Sting walked the hell out. And there you go, Triple H versus Sting at WrestleMania. I'm going to come back to this in a second because there's something that really I don't understand, but we'll get to that in a second. All right. So next thing, Paige versus Nikki Bella for the Divas Championship. This is a Divas match. This is just Divas stuff. And, you know, it just all depends. Some people don't even care to watch it. Some people think, hey, the Divas need more time. It's all up to preference. They didn't have a very good match, which sucks because I really like Paige. And Nikki has potential. Nikki's hit a few good moves in her day. And I actually like Paige. I actually like watching Paige. I think she's one of like the better Divas, and I think she can have a good match. I would like to see the title on her. But no. And then they had their match, and it was kind of short, and it was a Divas match, and it was kind of shitty. And then at the very end, Nikki and Brie do their cheatsy doodles thing, and then Nikki ends up winning. So go figure. I think they cheated. I honestly don't remember. I don't remember if Brie helped cheat or not. But anyway, Nikki ends up getting the W. Monday Night Raw, this was cut from the Hulu Plus version, but I read about it on Twitter, so take this for what you will. I probably don't know all the facts. Apparently, they had a rematch or something. I don't even know who won, but the match only lasted a few seconds. Like, it did not last. Like, I don't even think it hit 30 seconds, to be honest. And then a trend started. Give the Divas a chance or something like that. And Vince McMahon responded to it. He said, "We hear you. Just keep watching. Hashtag give the Divas a chance." So hopefully that's going somewhere. Hopefully the Divas get more time. I think the Divas have potential, I think the Divas need more time, but on the same hand, when I say that, they go out there and they constantly have shitty matches. And I don't know if that's because the WWE is not working with them enough. I don't know if that's because the WWE doesn't give enough of a shit about them. Maybe they're like, hey, write your own storylines. You have 10 minutes on Monday Night Raw, go. Or something like that. Maybe they're building off Total Divas too much. I really don't know what the deal on that is. But, like, I want the Divas to get more time. Like I said, I think Paige has potential. If you ever watch NXT, the NXT Divas actually do good work there. If you ever want to see good Diva action, go check out NXT. Because there's actually... And I don't think that it's because the girls are better in NXT than they are in WWE. I just think that they're being treated differently. Triple H runs NXT, in case you don't know. McMahon's still in charge of WWE, and along with his own set of writers and whatnot. So that's something to keep in mind. But... yeah, I feel like they deserve more time, but at the same time, they fuck up constantly, and I think there's potential there, and I would definitely like to see better Divas matches, and if we can get better Divas matches, I would like to see more Divas matches. So, yeah. Plus, I was watching a video, I think it was Bleacher Report, I'm not sure, WWE Bleacher Report, but the dude's like, yeah, how are we going to fit a 10-minute Divas segment into 3 hours of Raw? We only have 3 hours. I don't know. But yeah, so there's that. There's your Divas match. Dean Ambrose versus Bad News Barrett at Fastlane for the Intercontinental Championship. So they started the match out, and Bad News Barrett is actually winning the match, which is weird because basically since he came back, he got the title, and then he's been losing a lot. He's been losing a lot to pretty much everybody. Dean Ambrose beat him in a non-title match. Then Dean Ambrose came out after one of his matches that I think he lost. I'm not sure. This was last week on Monday Night Raw. I don't remember. I don't remember who he faced, but I feel like he lost. Anyways, Ambrose came out, zip-tied him to a corner post, forced him to sign the contract that says that they're going to have a match because Wade Barrett did not want to have a match with Dean Ambrose for whatever reason for the Intercontinental Championship. And then here we are at Fastlane. So the match starts out, and actually Wade Barrett is winning. Wade Barrett is like beating the tar out of Ambrose. And then all of a sudden, Ambrose starts to get the upper hand. Ambrose starts to throw punches. Ambrose starts to get in there. I mean, you know, those big-ass clotheslines that he does, shit like that. Ambrose starts winning the match. And then Bad News Barrett, Wade Barrett, just starts trying to leave. Like, he just starts trying to leave the arena. He tries to get out of the ring. Ambrose throws him back in. He gets out of the ring. He climbs over the barricade. Ambrose goes out there, beats the tar out of him on the outside, throws him back into the ring. Wade Barrett tries to crawl out of the ring one more time. He's at the corner post trying to get out. Dean Ambrose pulls him back in and then just beats the shit out of him until the referee rings the bell because Dean Ambrose is in the corner and he did not stop beating the crap out of Wade Barrett. After the 5 count. He just kept going. The referee said, I had to do it. He's like, I had to do it. Referee rang the bell. Ambrose is so mad that Wade Barrett was just trying to leave, because if Wade Barrett leaves with a count out, he still gets to keep his title. So Ambrose is so upset about this, he just goes out, he grabs the title, and he leaves. Ambrose is like, oops, I'm the champion now. Go check that out. He just has the title. And then on Monday Night Raw, there was a follow-up. Bad News Barrett, who lost to R-Truth on SmackDown. So he's still the Intercontinental Championship. He lost to... Dean Ambrose, and then it looked like he was going to lose to Dean Ambrose at Fastlane. He lost to R-Truth on Thursday Night SmackDown, and then he came out, who the hell was he facing? God, I'm so bad. I just watched this like an hour ago. Dolph Ziggler. He comes out against Dolph Ziggler, and he loses to Dolph Ziggler. So he's on excluding the disqualification, he's on a massive losing streak as a champion, which is really, really weird to see. And R-Truth is out there guest commentating for whatever reason. R-Truth should probably never guest commentate again. But... no, and then we see Ambrose come out after the match is over, holds the title up, he talks shit on Wade Barrett, and I think I'm a really, really, really bad YouTuber at this point, because I think he just leaves after that. He just talks a lot of smack to Wade Barrett. I do not remember if he gave the title back. I think I had to leave the room for whatever reason, and I should have gone back and watched that before this. I'm sorry I'm on a time crunch. But about this whole situation, I think Barrett's better than losing to everyone all the time. I mean, I get losing to Ziggler, but not when he's the champion, you know what I mean? I don't think putting him and Ziggler in there when he's kind of the champion but doesn't actually have it is a good idea. Unless they're setting up, he lost to R-Truth on Thursday Night SmackDown. He's lost to Dean Ambrose. Unless they're setting up some kind of WrestleMania Fatal 4-Way where they're suddenly throwing R-Truth into the mix, because, like, I understand Ziggler, but I don't necessarily understand R-Truth. I think R-Truth needs a better push than he's getting. He's been ignored for a really long time now, but... a Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania would be pretty sick between the 4 of those guys. And if that happens, I hope Ambrose wins. But, yeah, other than that, the whole situation's weird, and I can't really talk anymore on it other than I think that it's just weird. I like Ambrose. I think Barrett can do better. I think Barrett and Cesaro would make really good matches. I think that would be super cool to see those guys go at it if they haven't already. I think they have. But no, it's just the whole situation's weird, and let's just hope it develops into something cool. Because as of now, there's not a whole lot going on. All right, so after that match happens, we're still on Fastlane. I'm getting really off topic, but the ending is Oh, that's so much better. All right, so the next thing that happens, this one's kind of a big deal. In case you happen to miss Fastlane and Monday Night Raw, I'm going to explain it to you now. The announcers are talking about whatever yabba dabba bullshit. The network's $9.99, even though you have to have the network to be watching this pay-per-view right now. Whatever, I do what I want. All of a sudden, the gong hits. The lights dim, and the gong hits. And by dim, I mean they go pitch black. And the gong hits. The Undertaker's gong hits. The song starts coming in. You know what I mean? I kind of do it perfectly, in case you were wondering. But yeah, people start coming out, dudes with black masks over there. You can't see their face. They've got their hoods up, their robes on, holding torches. The torches, they create an alleyway. They light the way. All of a sudden, two more guys in the black robe, the mask, you can't see shit, start rolling out a casket while the Undertaker's music is playing. The torches are there. The smoke is rolling out. These men are rolling out the casket. Very slow process. Took minutes. They finally get to the ring. They turn the casket sideways. They open up the casket, and up from the casket sits up Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is posing as The Undertaker. In case you guys don't know, the last couple weeks on Raw, Bray Wyatt has had promos where he would randomly come in on the big screen, as he usually does his promos on, and he was talking about something. He said, I need to go, he was telling someone to find him before I find you. You're stuck in limbo. Things like that. Really cryptic stuff. Nobody understood what the fuck he was talking about. And here it is. Bray Wyatt is calling out The Undertaker. He says The Undertaker is stuck between being The Undertaker, the god that he is, and someone who needs to go home, someone who's done, cannot do this anymore. He says The Undertaker's stuck between those two things right now. He doesn't know what he needs. He said, basically mentioned that he's a battered shell of what he once was. Lesnar broke him too much, and now he just needs to turn it in. He says Bray Wyatt is going to be the man to do that. He says Bray Wyatt is the new face of fear, where The Undertaker used to be the face of fear, obviously. And yeah, that's his goal. He's calling out The Undertaker. And he fully plans on being the one to finally put the final nail on him. Basically, Lesnar staggered Undertaker last year. Bray Wyatt's going to knock him down, and The Undertaker's going to be gone. It's his idea. Follow up to this on Raw, Bray Wyatt cut another promo next to a casket, essentially saying the same stuff, calling out The Undertaker. Same cryptic Bray Wyatt promo stuff. I actually really like hearing Bray Wyatt talk. He's not my favorite dude to see wrestle. He throws a mean clothesline. Not my favorite dude ever to see wrestle. I actually like hearing him talk, but I cannot repeat anything he said because it's all so insane I don't remember it. And then he ends the promo with "Find me." So he wants The Undertaker to come find him, I guess. So hopefully within the next week or two, well, it's going to have to be within the next week or two, The Undertaker actually pops up and we get a little interaction between him and Bray Wyatt. I cannot hope for any more than that. And this brings me to the Sting point that I wanted to talk about earlier. Sting said in interviews months ago, when he first signed with the WWE, when his merch first started appearing, before Survivor Series was even a thought, when his merch first started appearing in the WWE store, when he signed with WWE for the game, for 2K, WWE 2K15, when he signed with them for the game, Sting said he wanted to have one last match at WrestleMania, and he wanted to have it with Undertaker. And that's what I don't get. If Undertaker is actually going to come back to wrestle Bray Wyatt, why would they not let Sting and Undertaker go at it? Is it because they couldn't decide who needed to win? If Sting beats Triple H and Undertaker beats Bray Wyatt, then I kind of understand that. If they both get their victories, then I kind of understand that. Maybe they couldn't decide. Does Sting, because it's probably going to be both of their last matches ever. So does Sting get the win? Does Sting get his one and only win in the WWE? Does Sting go undefeated in the WWE? And Undertaker has to lose WrestleMania 2 years in a row, because that's a really shitty way to go out. Or does Undertaker win, and that would still be okay for Sting, because it's his... I mean, that's the best case scenario for me, is if Sting and Undertaker go at it, and Undertaker wins for the sake of... Not to diminish Sting. I love Sting to death. When I was a kid, Sting was my fucking jam in WCW, but Sting loses because it's kind of like a thing where when you retire, you lose that last match. That kind of makes sense. He comes into the WWE, him and Undertaker have a hell of a match. Sting does end up losing that one, and The Undertaker needs to win this next WrestleMania, because that's a really fucking shitty way to go out if you lose your last two WrestleMania matches. That sucks balls. But unless they want Sting and Taker to both win, it doesn't make sense that they don't just collide them. Or maybe they both think they have one more year in them, so they do this year, and then next year is the big Sting-Undertaker showdown. Maybe that's the scenario, but I don't understand it. Bray Wyatt could be doing other stuff. Bray Wyatt's one of those guys you can pretty much plug in anywhere. You can put him against Rollins, you can put him against Ziggler, you can put him against Ryback, whoever the fuck you want, really. Bray Wyatt, you can plug in anywhere. And Triple H doesn't need to come out of retirement for anything again. You know what I mean? Nobody's like, oh, sweet. Like, some people are like, yeah, Triple H is wrestling again. Cool, but nobody's like, oh, fuck yeah, coming out of retirement. Nobody's as pumped as they are for The Undertaker or Sting or anything like that. So that's where I'm confused. If you have any thoughts on this, please leave it in the comment section down below. But that one got me a little bit. All right, so here we are. We have John Cena versus Rusev for the United States Championship. Okay, this match. See, I don't mind this match here. What I mind is that they're working to a rematch at WrestleMania and what happened in this match. So they actually go out there and they actually have a pretty good slugfest. Very, very back and forth match. Sometimes it looks like Rusev is breaking Cena. Sometimes it looks like Cena is actually going to get the upper hand on Rusev, finally put him down for the 3 count. And then they're going back and forth. It's a typical John Cena match, but Rusev's getting some really good shots, and Rusev is looking good, and that's awesome. Rusev slaps on the accolade to John Cena. John Cena is fading. He's coming in and out. Finally, John Cena gets the power of the people. He's shaking his arm. He's going to be the first man to ever break out of the accolade. This is after Cena's hit an AA on Rusev, and Rusev is kicked out at this point. You have to remember this. So one more AA, and Rusev's got to be down pretty much. But John Cena gets both of his arms in front of him in the accolade. John Cena starts to stand up, and just as he starts to stand up, Lana gets in the ring. Lana just gets in the ring. The referee turns around. He's distracted. Rusev lets the accolade go. Cena doesn't break out. That's kind of an important thing to note. Rusev lets the accolade go, turns around while the referee's distracted, kicks Cena square in his testicles. Cena drops down to 2 knees. Rusev gives him a huge super kick, slaps him back in the accolade, and at that point, Cena's already unconscious. So Cena didn't tap out, but Cena did lose the match. Now, the reason this sucks is because Rusev needed help to beat Cena, number 1. And number 2, with the way it looks, essentially, they're going to have a rematch at WrestleMania, and Cena almost has to win that rematch by the way it's building up. And I don't like that. I don't. I feel like Daniel Bryan would be a better fit now that he's not doing anything, and we'll get into that later. I feel like Daniel Bryan would be a really good fit to be the guy, because here's the thing. When somebody beats Rusev for the first time, because he has yet to fail, he has yet to lose a match or anything like that. When somebody beats Rusev for the first time, that person needs to be overwhelmingly well received. That person needs to be amazing. The people need to love him. Fuck yeah, America. There needs to be no boos. And Cena's not the guy for that because he's mixed. Cena's not the guy to beat Rusev right now. Roman Reigns is not the guy to beat Rusev right now because they're getting very mixed reviews. You need a guy like Ziggler to come in and beat Rusev for the first time. You need a guy like maybe Ryback, probably not Ryback. They've already had their run-in. But I thought Daniel Bryan would be a perfect plug-in for Rusev's United States champion. He doesn't have to win the title. I mean, I guess he does to take it off Rusev, but the U.S. title seems a little under Daniel Bryan right now, and I understand that. But I feel like he would be a perfect fit because everybody loves Daniel. There were people like, even during the match, even though a lot of people hate Rusev because he's constantly out there saying Russia's better than America, yabba dabba, I'm a bad guy, hate me, all this stuff. People in their mixed reactions with Cena, not everyone can get behind Cena, so it's looking like what's going to happen. So just to fill you in, before I get ahead of myself, on Monday Night Raw, Cena came out and he said, "I'm John Cena, I never give up, and we're going to have a rematch at WrestleMania," and Rusev said, "No, you don't deserve one." And Cena was left dumbfounded in the ring. So they're going to work away to a rematch, is still my guess, at WrestleMania. And then Cena has to win that because you have Cena's Never Give Up versus Rusev's Accolade. And if Cena doesn't tap to Rusev's Accolade, and I'm assuming they're not going to let Lana cheat to win twice, Cena has to win that match. Rusev has no move that can put Cena down unless he gets like a roll-up in or something. So, and that I don't think they would let Cena lose to a roll-up. In that regard. So I think Cena has to win, and that's going to be annoying. Part of me almost wants Rusev to win at WrestleMania, but I don't think he can. But I really wish, like, somebody like Daniel Bryan, somebody really well-loved in the community. Because everyone, can you imagine that? The fucking place would go insane with the yes chants if they had Bryant versus Rusev. But so I'm torn on that one because Cena can win, but I think Cena winning, it won't be nearly as awesome because people still boo when Cena wins, and that should be like the biggest moment ever when the giant, unbeatable Russian finally gets toppled, especially by a little guy like Bryant. That would be even cooler. That like, fuck yeah, America, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I see Bryant in that match going a lot better than Cena, but a lot of people may differ with me on that one. So here we go. It's time for the final match in Fastlane. I'm going to take another sip of water. Final match in Fastlane. My breakdown and everything and all this whatnot. My fucking... All right. Sorry, I almost got too excited. Here we go. So here we go. It's Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns. The build-up to this is Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble. He'll tell you he outlasted 29 other superstars. That's not true. He entered in 19, and people had already been eliminated before then, so he didn't outlast 29 other superstars. But that's just me being nitpicky. Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. The story gets built up that because Roman Reigns had help from The Rock, even though Big Show and Kane were illegal illegally in the ring and beating the shit out of him because Roman Reigns had help from The Rock. His Royal Rumble victory was tainted. It wasn't actually a real victory, so he shouldn't actually be the one going to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins comes out. They have a match, blah, blah, blah. Seth Rollins gets eliminated, some bullshit like that. Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. Winner goes to take on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Now, I'm going to say this. They went out there and they had a really good match. I really liked the way that their match went. Just the whole thing was stellar. It was exactly the way it needed to be. And I'm going to say this before the match gets or before I actually start breaking down the match and talking about it. Roman Reigns had to win this match. And not because I think Daniel Bryan's not big enough, not because I think Daniel Bryan's not scary enough to take on Brock Lesnar at Mania. You guys know how I feel about that. I've been down that road before on live streams in the last Royal Rumble breakdown, stuff like that. I'm not going to go down that road again. Roman Reigns had to win this Fastlane match because the WWE has gotten in a very, very awful habit of making really big matches, making really big things, making really huge stipulations not matter at all. And what I mean by this is that Survivor Series was supposed to be huge. Survivor Series was supposed to be this massively awesome deal. If Team Cena wins, the authority is gone forever. If Team Cena loses, all of Team Cena's team is fired. They're just gone. They cannot come back. So what happens? Cena's team wins. The authority's gone for like a couple weeks. And then the authority comes back. Well, when the authority comes back, you just made Survivor Series not matter. And I get that they came back because John had to say, I bring the authority back because Seth Rollins was going to break Edge's neck or whatever. But because the WWE did that, you made Survivor Series not matter. Well, they come back and then they fire all Team Cena. They fired them all like they said they were going to. So, I mean, kind of. Survivor Series mattered, right? Because they fired them all. So, yeah, they're actually gone. That actually matters. They're gone for good. They are fired. Get out of here. Well, not really. A couple weeks later, they come back. That doesn't matter all of a sudden. And then they threaten it with the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns wins the sacred Royal Rumble. The match, you win that. You were guaranteed WrestleMania. Well, you know, I mean, Daniel Bryan could beat him at Fastlane, and then Daniel Bryan gets his spot. You know what I mean? And then the more you make really, really important shit not matter, the less people are going to get hyped for it. People know at this point. Like, oh, well, now if they do a Survivor Series next year where if John Cena loses, he has to leave the WWE forever, and John Cena loses, well, Cena will be back. People get fired, well, they're going to come back. You win the Royal Rumble, well, maybe you'll get the main event at WrestleMania. And the WWE couldn't do that. So that's my thing on that. Roman Reigns had to win this match. On top of Roman Reigns needing to win this match, I'll get into that in a second. Anyways, they went out there and they had a good match. They built it up. Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, as Roman Reigns is the powerhouse. He's the brawn. He can do it. He's the athlete. He's huge. Versus Daniel Bryan's ability to be an amazing wrestler, to maybe outthink Roman, even though that didn't show up too often in it, to maybe outthink, and they did a really good job. There was some really good, Roman's hitting a lot of new moves in there, which is good for him. He needs to expand his move pool a bit so he doesn't become John Cena too. Roman's promos have been getting a lot better too, which I like. But anyways, no, Roman's hitting new moves. Roman's doing all this cool stuff. Daniel's out-wrestling Roman Reigns at times, which is really good for Daniel. There was one point in time, oh my god, how can I forget the name of this move? Anyways, I can't remember the name of the move, so I'm not going to go into it. Daniel Bryan puts, like, Roman Reigns laying flat on his stomach. Daniel Bryan puts his legs, like, stands on the back of Roman's knees, pulls his leg up, intertwines him with his. He's going to lean back. Roman Reigns does a sick-ass push-up out of it. If you remember the moment that I'm talking about, you remember it. If not, whatever. But there's just a lot of times Roman Reigns powerbombing Daniel Bryan from the top rope. Like I said, he's got a couple new moves in there. Not the powerbomb or the other thing, but you'll see him if you rewatch Fastlane on the WWE Network for only $9.99. Anyway, no, they went out there. They had a great match. Roman Reigns gets injured very early on. Very, very early on, Roman Reigns lines up and goes for a Superman punch. Daniel Bryan did what they kept referring to as a liver kick. He kicked him right in the liver, and or it was also near the spot where his surgery was that took him out a couple months ago. So Roman Reigns is doubled over. Roman Reigns is bent over basically the entire rest of the match. Anytime Roman Reigns has a free second to himself, he is bent over feeling that spot. And there were times that I actually thought Roman Reigns was legitimately hurt. Like, I was looking for it on Google and stuff like that, and Twitter and everything, to see if Reigns was actually hurt when that match was over, if there was actually something wrong with him. Because he was kicked in this really weird spot next to where his surgery was. And again, the rest of the match, he was bent over. He was fighting it. Whatever. They go through the whole match. Daniel Bryan hits everything, and I'll come back to this point later, but Daniel Bryan hits everything he has on Roman Reigns. Some things more than once. He's hit him with the knees. Roman's kicked out. He's put him in a couple yes lock. Roman's gotten out of those. He lines up. He got all the momentum going his way. He lines up for one final knees set of knees, jumping knees, whatever he calls that thing. It's going to put Roman out. He comes running across the ring. Roman Reigns jumps up, spears him. First time he hits the spear in the entire match, by the way. Covers him. 1, 2, 3. The match is over. Roman Reigns wins. Now, I'm going to go back to what I was trying to say earlier. Roman Reigns, there were 2 ways Roman had to win this match, to me. And one of them would have been really awful, and the other one was the way that this one went down. And I'll explain what I mean. Roman Reigns can't just barely survive Daniel Bryan and look like he's mean enough to go take on Brock Lesnar. They talked about it in the match. Roman Reigns was the brawn. Roman Reigns was the powerhouse. Roman Reigns was the super athlete. Daniel Bryan was the smart guy. Daniel Bryan was the wrestler. Daniel Bryan knew what he needed to do. And if you combine both those things, you have Brock Lesnar. Maybe not smart, but if you combine both those things, you have Brock Lesnar. So Reigns needed to look good in this match in order to be believable to take on Brock Lesnar. He couldn't, like I said, he couldn't just barely survive Daniel Bryan. They couldn't go out there and go blow for blow, punch for punch on an even playing field and have Roman Reigns like crawling, being taken out on a stretcher, limping out of that match. Roman Reigns needed to win definitively. So there were 2 ways this match could have gone. One way, Roman Reigns could have completely destroyed Daniel Bryan, which is not the way that this should have gone, and I'm glad it didn't. Part of me, like, a little bit inside, because I'm a little bit of a Roman Reigns fan, I see the potential that he has. That would have been funny, but it would have been really awful for business, and I'm glad it didn't happen. Roman Reigns could have gone out there and destroyed Daniel Bryan, looked unstoppable, looked like this amazing force, and that would have made him look good to take on Brock Lesnar. That would have made him and Lesnar look like a real fight that was going to happen at Mania. But like I said, that would have been bad. People would have hated if Roman Reigns would have gone out there and destroyed Daniel Bryan because they love Daniel so much. He would have got booed out of the building, and then the Mania event would suck. So I'm glad it didn't happen that way. The other way that that match could have happened is the way that it did happen, and I like this. Very early on in the match, Roman Reigns gets injured. Roman Reigns is fighting an injury, a big one. This one looks like a big deal to him when he's in the ring, and yet he is going blow for blow with Daniel Bryan. Roman Reigns, with a huge handicap in his injury, is going even with Daniel Bryan. And then on top of that, Daniel Bryan had the perfect match Daniel Bryan could possibly have. He put Reigns in 2 yes locks. He dove out of the ring and landed on Reigns in more than one occasion. He hit Reigns with the knees. He did everything he needed to do. And other than that, he did go blow for blow. There were submission holds he put in there with Roman. There were plenty of kicks. He hit him with a crazy kick to the side of the head. Like I said, submission holds. Roman Reigns would throw a forearm. Daniel Bryan would throw a kick. Roman Reigns would throw a forearm. Daniel Bryan would throw a kick. Daniel Bryan had like the perfect Daniel Bryan match, and Roman Reigns got up. And that was the way that that needed to go. Roman Reigns was fighting an injury. Roman Reigns got put in 1 yes lock. He made it to the ropes. Roman Reigns got put in another yes lock. He stood up out of it, just straight up picked up Daniel Bryan, stood up out of the yes lock. Roman Reigns got jacked with the knees. He kicked out. Roman Reigns takes an this incredible kick to the side of the head, this knockout kick to the side of the head. Daniel Bryan goes to throw the knees. Roman Reigns, with his very first and only spear of the match, hits Daniel Bryan, puts him down for the 3 count. That says that Roman Reigns, on an injury, on an injury where Daniel Bryan hit everything Daniel Bryan had, still gets up, still spears Bryan, and still walks out of the building, the clear victor in that match. So, and by clear, like, don't get me wrong, they had a really good match. It could have gone either way. Daniel Bryan could have hit the knees and won, but he didn't. So that's the Roman Reigns that we need. We need a fully healthy Roman Reigns going into it, and the fact that he got up out of everything Daniel Bryan threw makes him look really, really, really good going into Mania, and that's going to be awesome. It's going to be neat to see what they do the next couple weeks with that, but I'm glad that the match went how it did, and they're doing a really good job of trying to get the crowd back on Roman Reigns' side. And the more the crowd is split, the more I don't mind it, because people don't hate Brock Lesnar anymore. They don't hate Brock Lesnar like they did after he beat the Undertaker's streak. Some people still do. Some people still hang on to that resentment, but a lot of people see the animal that Brock Lesnar is. They put him in a match with John Cena. A lot of people don't like John Cena, so people cheering for Lesnar there. They put him in a match with Seth Rollins. A lot of people don't like Seth Rollins, so people be booing him there. People be cheering for Lesnar there. So there's mixed reactions for Lesnar, and there's mixed reactions for Reigns, which makes that really, really, really back and forth awesomeness that you would normally see if you see two high faces go at it, looking at like Shawn and Brett, or Stone Cold and The Rock when they're both good guys. I mean, it's things like that. Except this is mixed reactions for both instead of love for both. That still makes for a really awesome match. So even if Reigns goes into Mania with mixed reactions, I'm still cool with that. But no, to follow up what happened on Raw, Roman Reigns comes out, starts talking, starts cutting a promo, mentions that there's doubters. Daniel Bryan comes out and he says, Roman Reigns, I'm your biggest doubter. I did not, like, you're the athlete, you have the muscle, you have the potential, they see that, but I don't think you have the heart, or I didn't think you had the heart. until you kicked my ass last night. And then he said basically what I just said. He's like, I threw everything I had at you. I hit you with everything. I don't regret a damn thing. And you got up and you won the match and you were the better man last night. And then he said, go kick Lesnar's ass at WrestleMania. And then they shook hands. They were in a main event match together later on, which brings us back to Randy Orton joining the Authority. Throwback Thursday, right? That's from the beginning of the video. This video is a really long video. Jesus. I'm sorry. It's a prereq to WrestleMania. What are you going to do? So they go on to their main event Monday Night Raw, and it's Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins and Randy Orton, with the rest of the Authority out there being Kane, Big Show, and J&J Security. And they're having a back-and-forth match, Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. Daniel Bryan gets down. Rollins is beating the crap out of him, whatever. Reigns comes in with a hot tag. Reigns is lighting shit up. He's Roman Reigns. Somebody knocks him down, whatever. Bottom line, Daniel... Was it Daniel or Reigns? Somebody's in the ring. I think it's Roman. It's Roman, yeah. Roman Reigns is in the ring. Orton's back in the ring, and Orton has got the upper hand on Reigns. We're nearing the end of the match. You can feel it. Randy Orton throws Reigns through the ropes. He pulls him like he's about to do his DDT. And Seth Rollins, for whatever reason, Orton's on edge. Orton's been on edge all night. He's like, fine, I'll be with the Authority, but I still kind of don't like you guys. Rollins tags himself into the match, which pisses Orton off. You can see the look of anger on Orton's face. Rollins tags himself in. Rollins gets into the ring. He's like, come on, Randy, let's go. Get out of the ring. So Orton DDTs Roman Reigns anyway, and then he rolls out of the ring, and he's pissed. He's furious. He's walking around the outside of the ring. Big Show and Kane are trying to calm him down. Big Show's like, oh, he just got excited. Rollins just got excited. Just take it easy on the kid. He's okay. You guys are still a team. Remember that? But Randy Orton is pissed that he got tagged out because he was going to DDT Reigns. He was going to RKO him. They were going to win the match. That's how that was going to go. But Rollins gets in the ring, and then he goes into the corner after Randy Orton's DDT. In the meantime, Randy Orton's on the outside of the ring, pissed off, not giving a shit about what happens in the match. Rollins starts lining up for the curb stomp. He's going to curb stomp Reigns, win the match. They're going to go home. He comes in for the curb stomp. Reigns he stands up, throws the curb stomp out of the way, takes 2 steps back, jumps up, Superman punch onto Rollins. Rollins drops. Reigns backs up into the corner, lines up for the spear, because you know the spear is going to take Rollins, like just cut him in half, and then he's going to pin him 1, 2, 3. Daniel Bryan tags himself in. Before Reigns goes for the spears, Daniel Bryan tags himself in. Well, that's funny because a couple weeks ago, that really pissed off Daniel Bryan when Reigns tagged himself in, and they had an altercation about that. They were pissed off about Fastlane. They ended up fighting about it for a while. But Daniel Bryan tags himself in, and Roman Reigns laughs. But it's a good laugh. Like, it's funny. They're having fun out there, and it was it's not cool, but it was one of the neatest things I've ever seen in WWE because nobody, I don't think, has ever had that response when being tagged out. Nobody has ever laughed in a not sarcastic, ha ha ha, I'm going to kick your ass later way. Reigns was genuinely laughing about that, and that was funny. That was cool. Just 2 dudes out there having a good time. Daniel Bryan tags himself in. Reigns laughs it off, gets out of the ring, still laughing about it, watches Daniel Bryan throw the double knees to Rollins' face. They pin him 1, 2, 3. Reigns and Daniel both go in there and celebrate together because they're homies now. They're cool with each other. And Reigns still thinks it's funny that Daniel tagged himself in, and that was so neat to me because nobody has ever done that before. Nobody's ever been like, oh, haha, whatever, we're still going to win the match, who gives a shit? And that was cool because, like, I mean, you know, that's just a weird concept. I didn't expect that at all. I expected Reigns to be pissed at Daniel Bryan, and I'm so glad it went the other way. They get out of the ring. Orton comes in the ring, RKO's Jamie Noble. Looks like he almost lines up like he's going to punt Seth Rollins. And by punt, if you don't know the Throwback Thursday, Orton used to punt people to end their careers. Orton used to punt people to take them out for around 4 months, coincidentally. And he looked like he was going to punt Rollins. Well, all of a sudden, Jamie Noble comes in, he RKO's Jamie Noble, and then he just kind of pats Seth on the shoulder and leaves. So I don't know where that's going to go. It's really lackluster that Orton isn't pissed at the Authority yet, but I feel like a turn is incoming. And other than that, I've rambled on way too long. This is a 45 freaking minute video. Anyways, that was you guys' Fastlane and following night Monday Night Raw recap, or the February 24th Raw recap. And kind of your prereq to WrestleMania, what I hope to see. You guys can expect a WrestleMania recap probably the day after it happens. But I want to thank you guys coming out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It doesn't need to be any longer than it is. Leave a like if you actually watch these wrestling things. I'm Thundershot. And next time I will hopefully have gameplay in the background for you guys. Peace.